Just a few days ago, I made a video explaining why I believe Nikola Jokic is the evident MVP of the NBA in 2021, and since then, he has continued to prove me right, leading the Nuggets in over 10 different statistical categories, continuing to lead Denver to wins, and playing like one of the greatest offensive players of all time. However, the noise isn't all in his favour anymore, as in just a matter of days, James Harden's case for the MVP has suddenly spiked, and spiked a lot. Maybe Jokic's European heritage and small market location is making it difficult for him to clear the way in this race, but it seems that Harden's arguments for the MVP this season are becoming more pronounced by the minute. So, what is Harden's case? Can he legitimately steal the award out of nowhere and take home his second trophy in 4 years? I'll be taking a look at that in today's video. Before we start, if you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content like this. I'm trying to hit 16,000 subscribers, so all support would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, with that being said, let's talk about James Harden. James Harden has been dominant ever since leaving Houston on January 13th. Many expected him to dip statistically and essentially take a back seat behind Durant and Irving, but with consistent injuries and other factors keeping those stars out at times, he's been able to keep up the amazing play he's shown in the past on the Rockets. In 31 games with Brooklyn, Harden is averaging 26 points, 11 assists, and just under 9 rebounds per game, which is simply elite level numbers and rivals other top candidates for the MVP. He's also proving his value in the advanced metrics, having one of the highest box plus minuses in the league with a +7, and also having a win share per 48 minutes of .217, which is over double the league average. Harden's play has particularly stepped up as of late, however, with him averaging 30 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds per game in his last 6 matches, and having a box plus minus of +12 in those games. Harden's also led Brooklyn to a 12-3 record in their last 15 games, and they're 22-9 overall since he joined the team, proving his large impact on the team that was barely afloat before he arrived. But obviously, stats don't showcase his full impact, and Harden has showed that his presence on the court alone can change the picture for Brooklyn completely. So many people said when Harden arrived in Brooklyn that he would not move the needle for them that much, and that statement so far has been very wrong. I get hindsight is 2020, but looking back, those were some horrendous takes because he has completely changed how Brooklyn are able to play. The first thing he provides is gravity. He's another elite offensive threat that NBA teams cannot sag off if they want to tighten up on KD and Kyrie, so that allows those guys to get more room. Having those guys on the team also provides him with plenty of spacing too, allowing him to maximize his game, which he sometimes struggles to do in Houston. He also allows the fully healthy Nets to have a current superstar on the floor at all times, which makes them so deadly as there is never a period in the game where all stars are off the court. So if they're hitting their shots, they are going to be so hard to stop. He's also adjusted his game beautifully into the Nets system, and he is willing and able to take a step back on the scoring side of things to let Kyrie and Durant thrive. That unselfish nature has been crucial to Brooklyn's success. That's really what's most important. I did kind of just mention it, but his ability to recognize when to step up or when to take a step back is crucial to Brooklyn and their success. When KD and Kyrie have been in and out of the lineup, he's changed his play style and has taken over all aspects offensively, taking the Nets to wins they maybe wouldn't have gotten without him with his elite 30 and 40 point performances where he puts the team on his back. But also, again, as I've said, he's able to take a back seat when those stars come back, run the plays, create opportunities for his teammates with his passing, and then let the others do the work. That's what makes him and Brooklyn so dangerous, and it's some MVP quality stuff. It maybe doesn't scream MVP as much as a guy like Jokic, who leads Denver in almost every statistical category possible, but it's something that should be appreciated by voters and fans alike, and it's what I believe is his greatest argument for the MVP. Basically, along with his elite stats and great team record, he's changed how Brooklyn are able to play. And that immeasurable impact you can only really see by watching the Nets play live is what I believe places him right in the mix for the MVP in 2021. Obviously, a lot of things will need to go Harden's way in order for him to win the MVP. It's not too clear cut. One thing that may go against him is the fact he's on a stacked team, a super team some may say, so voters may not consider his impact to be as valuable as a guy like Jokic or Lillard, who are the only superstars on their team. Obviously, you can counter that and say Harden's barely played with Durant and Kyrie due to their respective injuries anyway, and is the reason why the Nets have stayed afloat in the East. But I do understand that argument against him, though it's a bit surface level. Another argument against Harden is how his rise to the MVP conversation has only really come around in the second half of the season, while guys like Jokic, Giannis, and even Lillard have been dominant all year long. It's nothing against Harden and his great year, but it may simply be the fact that he's been outplayed by a guy like Jokic at the end of the season that prevents him from winning the award. Again, he may be a top candidate in his own right, but it may just end up being a case of there being two equally great candidates for the award and the other one winning over Harden. Unfortunately, it just may not be deeper than that. So, with that all being said now, can Harden actually steal the MVP? Let's summarize. Overall, Harden is now a top candidate for the MVP. That much is obvious. With LeBron and Embiid both injured, Harden's been able to get more limelight, and the often absence of Durant and occasionally Kyrie has allowed him to shine as the ultimate superstar he really is. His stats have been phenomenal. He's leading Brooklyn to wins consistently, and he's changed the dynamic of the Nets side completely for the better. His impact has been unprecedented and ridiculously great. However, with Brooklyn being a super team and all, and this run for the award happening relatively late in the season compared to multiple other candidates, Harden may be unlikely to take home the MVP again. So, where does he currently rank then? Right now, I'd place him in second, still behind Jokic, but he's definitely risen a lot in the last couple weeks. There was a point in the season where we didn't even believe Harden could get anywhere near an MVP, but here we are just a few months later, and he may just end up being a finalist for the award, all things going his way. A lot of things still need to align for Harden for him to win it, and maybe it's not really on his mind as he searches for his first ever championship, but he's putting together a great case lately, and that deserves some love. Again, I wouldn't pick him to win it right now, but with still 30 or so games to go in this season, anything can happen, so I wouldn't count him out. As a Rockets fan, seeing this play from James hurts a bit, knowing what could have been, but I am definitely happy for him. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but Harden's play in 2021 definitely deserves the respect of voters, and while I don't think he's the premier candidate right now, he is in the conversation for sure, and hopefully I've been able to display that today. And that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? Can James Harden win the MVP to you this season, or is he still behind some other players? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe, but with that being said, I am out. Peace.
Hey, Mobs, that sounds wavy.